Hi, folks. Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Club, a weekly political internet show simulcast on Tuesdays on the CommonSenseConversation.com blog at CommonSenseConversation.com and on the Cantankerous Old Coots blog at CantankerousOldCoots.com. It can also be seen on the YouTube channel The Coffee Club. I'm Bob Hales, and I'm your host here on the Tinfoil Hat Club. And on the show, I try to do three things. First, I highlight various things the United States government in general, or a particular politician or group of politicians specifically are doing or trying to do that are corrupt, or maybe that are legally correct but ethically and morally wrong, or that in general just ignore the people's constitutional rights, or the limits that the Constitution places on the federal government. Now, I'm going to warn y'all, I am not politically correct. A person who tells a lie in my book is not misinformed. They're not avoiding certain facts like other politicians and many political commentators say. They're damn liars and will be called out as such here on the Tinfoil Hat Club. In particular, I hate the phrase "with all due respect." I'm not going to even try to pretend to respect a politician or a government bureaucrat or anybody else for that matter who proactively does things that I think are damaging to a country that was once and can be again the greatest and freest country on the face of this earth. If I think someone is, by their actions now, not by their party affiliation and not by their words, but if I think someone is, by their actions, a communist and working to ignore the Constitution, I'll call them a damn communist bastard right here on the show. And I'm not going to argue against their actions with nice little sweet lines like, "With all due respect, you must consider this or that." Bullshit. I was born without a single politically correct bone in my body, and I haven't grown one in 57 years since. So if you don't like it, tough. Check the Constitution. You have no constitutional right not to be offended. The second thing I try to do here is something that commentators, pundits, and various blowhards like me rarely do. Once I bitch about something, I propose a common sense solution, or at least what I feel is a common sense solution. My dear old daddy once told me that if a person does nothing but bitch and complain and doesn't at least propose a solution to the problem, they're part of the problem, not part of the solution. So if you see something wrong and don't try to fix it, you're as guilty as the person who's screwing up. The third and most important thing I try to do is to give you, the individual listener, a way to make your voice heard and make it actually count beyond exercising your right to vote. You do vote, right? If you don't, shut the hell up. If you can't be bothered to spend an hour or two voting every 2 years, you don't have a damn thing to say that's worth listening to. The first thing that you can do for every issue I bring up is go to CommonSenseConversation.com and look over there in the right sidebar for the widget that's titled Find Your Congress Critter. Use it. The info that you enter there isn't saved. You don't go on my email list. I don't fill up your email box with spam. All the information there is used for is to find your representative and senator for you. His name, his district addresses for all of his offices in the district, or in the state in the case of a senator, his email addresses, his phone numbers, and the same information for their Washington offices. Use those addresses. Use those email addresses. Use those phone numbers. And if you call their offices, ask when they will be making a public appearance near you. When they know, or even think, that just maybe someone might be at an appearance to call them on their shit, it does have an impact. Now, another idea, and some people might call this next idea unethical. I don't. I call it playing their game using their rules to my advantage, not theirs. Lie to them. They lie to you real often, so lie back. If you see something anytime, or if I tell you something that pisses you off, but it's being introduced, say, by a senator in New York when you live in California, tell them you live in their state when you call, or their district, and that you vote. Now, let's get on with today's problem and today's solution. Today's problem is you. Yeah, you. As in you people watching this show. Right now I see two problems with you, and neither one of them make you bad, but they do make you part of the problem. First, if you're like the majority of U.S. citizens, you started waking up along about January of 2009. Just about the time you realized just how bad the new president and the pretend conservatives were going to make things. Obama started pushing his Marxist agenda, and he had help from both Rhino Republican conservatives and Democratic members of Congress. He was able to really step on the gas of the progressive movement, and let me tell you something. Progressive is another word for communist. And there is a progressive caucus in Washington, you know that? And they're communists. Now, by Election Day of 2010, we were all awake. He had woke us up. Obamacare and crap like that. And we went to the polls, and we caused the biggest political shift in the House of Representatives in over 70 years. I think it was 73 to be exact. We were excited. We had done something. Bullshit. We had started to do something, but we had and still do have a far way to go, and it'll take more than one election to get us there. The slide away from the Constitution started in 1920, and it'll take more than one election to reverse course, but we can do it. The second problem with you is a belief that it doesn't matter what you do. One person can't make a difference. I've heard that so much it's not even funny, and that's a bullshit defeatist attitude if I ever heard one. There are a lot of Howard Beals out here screaming from the rooftops, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. And when we yell as a group, they listen. They don't act like it. They try to ignore us. But they do listen when we are loud enough and focused enough and direct the yells about the right things in the right direction. They do listen. You don't believe me, do you? You want proof, right? Okay, I'll give you proof. Just here in the last few months, the Department of Labor had proposed some new farm safety rules. 85 pages of farm safety rules that would have had an adverse effect on family farms. The kind of farms that this nation was built on. Not big corporate farms. Family farms. Now, the rules were written in such a way, and the excuse for the rules that was given was designed to make the public be accepting of those rules. The same reason was given for these rules that's for most of the bullshit they try to cram down our throats. It was for the children. Are you sick as I am about hearing about for the children? I don't need the government to care about my children. I give a damn about my children. The government can go to hell. But it was for the children. After all, farms are dangerous places. Kids can get hurt, so we got to protect them. Right? So the Department of Labor wrote rules to protect kids by not allowing them to do anything on a farm, even a family farm, say, that involved using a flashlight, or any job that would have to involve reading a livestock ear tag, or work 4 feet off the ground, you know, like a tractor seat, or use a power tool, or drive any vehicle. You get the idea. It would have been devastating to the family farm. The first wave of protests got them to pretend to loosen up. They said kids could work on the family farm, but not on anybody else's. Problem is, they define family farm as a farm owned by the kids' parents. Period. End of discussion. Grandpa's farm next door? Oh no, that's not the family farm. Uncle Ed and Aunt Martha, quarter mile down the road? Nope, not the family farm. Well, a whole lot of people stuck their heads out the window and started yelling. We're mad as hell about these stupid, overbearing, anti-small farmer rules designed to kill competition for the big corporate farms like Tyson Foods and Purdue Farms, and we aren't going to take it anymore. Guess what? The feds backed down because we can make a difference when we're not going to take it anymore. Let me read you something from a website called The Daily Caller, and I will give links to it where you can verify it for yourself at the below this video. Under pressure from farming advocates in rural communities and following a report by The Daily Caller, the Obama administration withdrew a proposed rule Thursday that would have applied child labor laws to family farms. Critics complained that the regulation would have drastically changed the extent to which children could work on farms owned by family members. The U.S. Department of Labor cited public outcry as the reason for withdrawing the rule. Listen to that again. The U.S. Department of Labor cited public outcry as the reason for withdrawing the rule. The decision to withdraw this rule, including provisions to define the parental exemption, was made in response to thousands of comments expressing concerns about the effect of proposed rules on small family-owned farms, the department said in a press release Thursday evening. To be clear, this regulation will not be pursued for the duration of the Obama administration. Now you tell me that just folks, just little peons like you and me, can't have an effect. Didn't even have to go to the voting booth, didn't have to vote anybody out of office, just had to raise damn hell. So start raising hell, people. You can make a difference, and you need to start doing it. Well, that's about it for today, folks. Use that little widget over there at commonsenseconversation.com to contact your Congress critter. Confront them with an email. Confront them with a snail mail. Confront them with phone calls, and if they show their face near you, confront them personally. And don't be threatening, but intense works just fine. After all, you are a part of we the people. You know, their bosses. Remember, end every contact you have with a government official with the words. Not the implied words, but specific words. Look them right in the eye and tell them, we don't work for you. You work for us. So until next week, when we meet again, y'all have a good day and a good week. And remember, the most important thing, y'all come back now. You hear?